Robert Craven, founder of Scale Passion, here this week to talk about the loyalty curse and what to do about it. And let me first start off with a little story. I have met several entrepreneurs and worked with several entrepreneurs who are hitting what I call the wall. And that wall is basically where they're starting to realize that the things that they did before just aren't working, and that they've got to do things very differently in order to scale their passion and take things to another level. One of the most common things I hear when I start asking about the people part, and Julia Aquino just talked a lot about process, and that's a big part of scaling. Another big part of it is the people. So a lot of times, what I find with entrepreneurs who are transitioning into high growth is that they've hired lots of people that tend to do exactly what they're told. When an entrepreneur is ramping up a company, they tend to make all the decisions, and that means you're attracting people that are okay with you making the decisions and telling them what to do. As you start to transition into another phase of growth, you need people that can actually make their own decisions. So one of the most common things I hear, and I call it the loyalty curse, is when I start asking people about, there are people that go, "Oh, that person's very loyal," and my first response to that is, "Oh no." That means that person has been there a long time, does what they're told, but they're not necessarily qualified to take the business to another level. So my challenge this week is that you identify whether or not you have the loyalty curse, and then you solve it. So let's talk a little bit about how to avoid the curse or how to solve the loyalty curse. There's a great book that I'm going to recommend. It's on the website. You can link to it or go to Amazon and look up Top Grading. Top Grading is spelled Topgrading. I've talked about it quite a lot. It's by a guy named Smart, who actually taught Jack Welch and GE a system that has turned GE into just a leadership factory. And it has a lot to do with this top grading methodology. So let me give you a sense of what top grading is in about 3 minutes, and hopefully you'll be able to apply it. So let me set up my desktop here so you can see what I'm looking at. So we'll pull that up, and we'll go to this view and see if this works on Ustream. If you're following along on Ustream or on the GoToWebinar, you should see an Excel spreadsheet, and it says top grading example. I'm going to get me out of Ustream here so you can see it more fully. You can see here that what we've got is an example of a kind of your list of staff. So let's just say your team, it's an accounting team, your admin team, you might have sales in here, this one has purchasing, etc. Now you've got the person's name, and I've got person 1 through 18 just to give you a sense of it, and then their title. So team, name, title. Now here's where top grading comes in. There's actually 2 metrics that is that really says what top grading is. First is fit to role, and fit to role means if you were to interview 1,000 people and narrow it down to the top 10 people that are a complete fit to whatever role they're in. So in this case, it might be accounting assistant. They've got the right experience you're looking for. They've got the right culture fit. They've got everything. They're a perfect fit to role. Then that person would be what we would call an A player. If they are in the next, let's just say, 20 to 35%, so of the people you've interviewed, they all fit the top 100 fit. Let's say it's person 20 through 35, then they would be a B player. So your top 20 would be A players, your 20 through 35 would be B players, and anybody past 35 would be what we would call a C player. So you've all got people in your organization that don't fit where they are. I'll give you a quick example. I had a guy who loved graphic design, and he was in an analyst role. Well, anybody who knows graphic designers knows they're very creative, right brain type people, and you've got them in positions where they're trying to do analytical work, just not a good fit. I would call that a C fit. So you can see that this accounting assistant is a B fit. Now sometimes fit can be because of lack of experience. So if someone's a good fit by skill set, they just don't have the experience, that's okay. They're a B player, but they need to get 2 or 3 years under their belt to move up into A. It's okay to have that. You just have to know that's what you're dealing with. Now the next column here is called promotability. And promotability, according to top grading, gets separated into 3 colors: red, yellow, and green. So red means not promotable. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands that's not negative. It's absolutely not negative to be not promotable. It's just that some people have a better fit, and you don't want them to be promotable, or they're not promotable, and that's good. That's a good thing. But you classify those people as red. Now, those people that are promotable 1 level, like this person here, the billing coordinator, who might become an accounting manager one day, they're yellow, so they're promotable one level, and of course the greens are promotable multiple levels. So why do we care red, yellow, green? Well, if you had an organization full of greens, you would have lots of conflict because people would be after your job and trying to move up. Now, if you had an organization with lots of reds, which is typically what I see with entrepreneurs who are hitting their head up against the wall, that means you've got no leaders, you've got no managers, you've got nobody who can really step in and take over for you if you get hit by the bus, for example. So your challenge here is to list all your people by title, go back, assess their fit to role, and their promotability. Now, the last metric that I always add is their rank, and we used to use a 1 through 10 ranking system, or a 0 through 100% type ranking system, or an A, B, C, D, F. But based on their skill, based on their fit to role, how do you rank them in their job 0 to 100%? Quick and easy way to get a sense of what it is you've got on your hands. Now, if you've got an organization with all reds, when you start going out and hiring people, you need to find those yellows and greens. If you've got an organization of all greens, I would submit that you're probably going to lose some of them, and you need to start planning for that. So just to tell you a quick story about this and how this really applied to me in my life, I've hired a couple people where this applied. And I can tell you how we were very proactive about this. When I took over as the CEO of the first company that I ran, I was 34 years old. Very young, very blessed to be the CEO. And I was hiring an administrative assistant. And so I laid out my job description, I laid out the profile of the person I wanted to hire, and I wanted someone with lots and lots of experience. Now, what Top Grading told me was that I wanted a red. I had interviewed lots of young people who wanted to be HR managers. They wanted to use their administrative role as a way to move up into in a new area. And I said, you know what, this color needs to be red when I hire this. So by proactively identifying that I wanted to hire a red into that role, someone that was not promotable, did not want to be promoted, I was able to hire a fantastic assistant. She had been an assistant for 20 years, executive assistant. She came in, she gave me professionalism. She wasn't going anywhere. She was dedicated to me. She wasn't trying to move up in the organization, and it was a very good hire. I also hired a COO. When I first became the CEO of both of the jobs I was in, I really had no one that could take my place. So at one point I had 11 direct reports. Now I don't recommend that. Typically 5 or 6 is where you want to be. But if you're the CEO of the company and you've got, let's just say, 5 vice presidents reporting to you, one of those people needs to be a green. One of those people needs to be able to step into your shoes immediately, if not 2. So a lot of times it's good to have 2 at that level. But you want to make sure that you've got 1 or 2 greens in that VP level, people that can take over for you if you get hit by the bus. And you want to start cultivating that succession plan, if you will. And being able to chart your org chart with these colors, red, yellow, green, is an excellent way to see where you stand and to quickly identify, I got too many reds over here, I got a yellow here, which will take over for that person if they get promoted, or I really need a green over here. So as you start scaling your business, you're able to very quickly and easily identify, I need a red, yellow, or green, and you always want A players. And the great thing about the Top Grading book is that it tells you how to hire A players, and I followed that hiring process diligently. Fantastic book, highly recommend it. But hopefully your weekly challenge this week is to take your staff list. Are they promotable, red, yellow, green? Are they a fit to role, A, B, C? If you got grade A's, good for you. If you got B's that need more experience, give it to them, give them training. If you've got C's, you want to put them on 60-day probation and do everything you can to get A players replaced into that role. You should not be accepting C players in any position in your company. So you're trying to win the Super Bowl. Remember, you don't want C players in any position. So that's your weekly challenge this week. Watch out for the loyalty curse. Solve it with a Top Grading approach. I'm Robert Craven, the founder of Scale Passion. I want to thank you this week, and that's your weekly challenge.